let me show you a fabulous hat. In fact, it's one of my favourites. This hat, this fedora, is from Boston in the United States, and it dates from the 1950s. Always look for the clues. How do we know it's 1950s? Have a look at it. Width of the band is a bit of a giveaway that it's a vintage hat. It's got an edge called the Kavanagh edge. I'll come back to that in a minute. Has a back bow rather than a side bow.
Let's see that back bow, Neil. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Yeah.
Now the back bow on fedoras had two golden eras. One was in the 1920s and the other was towards the end of the 1950s, and that's when this one comes from. Around about between 1957, 58 and maybe 1961, somewhere around there, this hat. Made for a company called Collins and Fairbanks. There they are, from Boston. And one of the things to always look for in vintage hats is what's hiding underneath the band. This is the archaeological dig of the Hat Fan Society. You look underneath. This one tells us, look, it was there's the Union sticker. Can you see that in the light?
Yeah, we
there?
can now. Yep.
Yeah. So it was a unionised workforce in the hatting industry back in the United States. This one also has a bit of an oilcloth lining here, which is a sign of quality. Don't see that very often. And then it's got this. There's your size, 718. Blackstone is the colour. And the other thing we see, when we go in the other side, let's find it. There it is. There's some more of that lovely oilcloth. And that liner, here we are, is that it was made by a company called Disney Hats from Dansbury in Connecticut. Now, an awful lot of the American hat making industry was based in Connecticut back in the old days. And Disney Hats, nothing to do with the famous filmmaker and cartoonist. Disney Hats is one of the top-end makers. And this, one of their top-end hats. A lovely, lovely hat. Now, the Kavanagh edge. There it is. So called because it was invented by another one of the early hat makers called Kavanagh. And it has no seam. It's a seamless edging. No one quite knows how it was done, and it's certainly not made anymore. Too expensive to do it, so modern hat makers have lost the skill of making the Cav edge. Other brands had their own version of it, called it various things. Knox, another old American hat maker, called it a custom edge, and the other brands had their own names for it as well. This hat also has, another sign of quality, what's called a wind button or a wind cord, and this would be undone. I'm not going to do it because I can't get it done back up, and it would unravel, and that button would go in your lapel on a windy day, and the hat wouldn't blow away.
And it suits you, Neil. I love that wide ribbon. It's fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They had style in them old days.
Yeah, looks good on you. And this is part of one of many of Neil's hat collection. So thanks for that, Neil.
Cheers.